Three, two, one. Okay. Welcome, everybody, to the first official Two Bros podcast after what feels like months in the making. We are alive and cooking. I am your host, Will, and today with me is fellow co-host. Wow, English is hard. Fellow co-host. I still said it like that, Riley. So how are we doing at 1:30 in the morning, fella?
I'm dying.
Dying?
I'm dying.
Why is that?
My allergies are killing me.
You got them springtime allergies, huh?
Yeah, we're cleaning a field out behind the house on the other side of the creek.
Oh, yeesh. That must be a lot of fun.
It was.
Oh, well, we're glad to be here, I think, finally actually doing this.
Part.
For the most part, yeah, it took years of convincing, but we're finally doing this. I didn't really have anything planned in terms of talking. I figured, we can kind of just talk about who we are, I guess, without doxing ourselves too hard. I mean, we're just two best friends, known each other forever, and I've been wanting to. I feel like it would be a good experience doing a podcast together. I feel like we have some pretty good stories from where we grew up and who we know. It's very wacky and goofy, but I figured it'd be a good time. Maybe next time we do this, I'll actually come with some good content. But yeah, we're just two. Well, I guess I'll introduce myself, so that way I don't speak for Senor Riley over here, even though he is not a senior. He is older than me, but without being too boring, I create content online. You may notice our logos here. I go by Splash Online, and he goes by Nike Expert. I stream on Twitch and upload YouTube occasionally. I'll probably drop the links for both of our stuff down below if whatever he provides me, if he has anything he wants to throw down. But I stream a lot of like Dark Souls stuff and stuff like that. Going to college, all that jargon. Anything you want to introduce yourself with? Like, what do you want to tell the audience? The whole internet is going to hear this. Every single one of them.
I'm Riley. That's all you guys need to know. I'm Nike Expert's what I normally go by, so we're just gonna leave it at that.
Well, why don't we discuss like what do we do? Like what do we play? What do you play? What do I play? Really, I just want to hear what you play.
Well, I think that's primarily GTA RP. I'm getting ready to start another city. I'm supposed to be getting a new shop in my primary city by the end of the month. Supposedly that cost me $40. Oh
my gosh! This is. Do you want to like kind of explain like GTA RP for people who might be tuning into this that don't know what it is? Obviously, most people that are watching this probably understand
if you don't know what GTA 5
but...
RP is by now, you're a boomer.
Not really. You understand console doesn't have it, right? Like,
yeah, but they still follow it. If there are people playing console every day and playing Grand Theft Auto every day, then they're more than likely keeping up with PC, so they can eventually migrate to PC.
Interesting. I literally didn't even know about it until you told me about it. So had you not introduced me to it, I probably never would have started like.
You would have played it just as much as you do now.
Which is like never.
Exactly.
I only play it when you like want me to do it. So like, what is your role in this city that you're in? You said you're opening a shop. Is it a mechanic shop?
Well, the goal is eventually. So about a year and a half ago, I ran a city. When you run a city, you never get to RP. You get stuck watching over people and all that. So I had a bunch of Patreon people that develop cars. They're called devs. Well, I had a bunch of cars. I had like 191 that I sent the city that I play in now, right? And he's like, it's going to take me forever to go through these. I was like, fine, I'll get the group that I roll around with. We'll go through The 191 cars will get 2 parts, 3 parts, 4 parts, however many parts we wind up doing. I got the first part made and sent to him already, but of set cars that we want to see in relatively soon, there's 40 cars in the first batch, from 2 lifted F450s all the way to a Hellcat wagon to a Dodge Durango wagon, or Dodge Durango Hellcat. But basically, the goal is for this shop. It's unfortunately right next to gang territory, which kind of sucks because I'm trying to get away from the gang activity, but it is what it is. So, of right now, until he figures out how to work the payment system out, I'm just going to be a mechanic shop. But eventually, this shop's so big, I'll be able to sell the cars that he implements that I paid for with real money. So,
Okay.
and I'm trying to fix his economy because right now you really can't get a car for under $1 million. I mean, you can, it's just all vanilla cars. But that's besides the point.
I see.
Um,
Yeah, who likes vanilla cars, man? You gotta get them modded cars in.
well,
Sounds
I mean,
like.
the point of 5M is to role play either as a cop, an EMS, a tow truck driver, an auto mechanic, a stripper, a restaurant owner. RP is almost anything. But a plus to
Say,
RP is the fact that you get to play with real cars and not mixed together cars like the Albany Ruiner or the Oppressor Mark II that's not even a real thing. You have like Bugattis, Supras, trucks. I'm working on getting a custom Civic put in hopes that maybe if I can get the custom Civic put in, somebody might come and join me. But
Okay, so for reference, in real life, we're not talking RP anymore. In real life, I am a Honda fan, so I drive an SI, so the sports edition of a Civic. And I'm just a really big Civic fan, so I think he's talking about me, but I don't know. I could be wrong.
yeah, you're definitely wrong on that one.
Oh
But-
wow, so you got another guy who likes Civics?
No, they're a very few breed.
Few and far between. Yeah, I get it. You know, we're a special kind of people.
Yeah, that's for sure.
What is that even supposed to mean?
You know exactly what it means. But no, like this Honda that I'm looking at, I'll send you pictures of it later if I can remember what website it was on. I have to pay for it, but it's not really that big of a deal. But I just bought two of the people I play with every day is one goes by Grizz Osborne. Another
Shout
one
out
goes
to Grizz.
Grizz, and then Francis. Both of them are Australian dudes. Francis
Shout out
lives
to
in
Francis
Melbourne.
and Grizz.
Grizz lives outside of Melbourne. But that's why I play in the morning, because I play with them, and then on my days off I fly in at night and play with my American friends, which one of them just had a kid, so he's not in very much anymore. And I'm kind of getting annoyed with some of the other ones, so I haven't really been playing much in the afternoon. But I just bought Grizz 01 because Grizz is part of admins of the server. So the owner of the server doesn't pay people, like his admin teams that help him run his city. He doesn't pay them with actual money. He gives them in-game stuff, like a one-on-one car, money here and there. So Grizz currently has a 69 Charger, almost identical to Dom's from Fast and the Furious. But he wanted a new age Charger, Elephant swapped. Well, we spent 3.5 hours going through a bunch of discords that were for devs that make cars and stuff. He found what he wanted. I was like, alright, your birthday's after mine. I'll go ahead and buy it now for you. Send it to Dad so he can put it in. You can have it before your birthday. So I bought that for him, and then his girlfriend, which they were dating in the city, now they're dating outside RP, which I don't really understand that, but it is what it
That's
is. It's
wow.
a little weird for me, but
Look at RP bringing people together in the real world.
well, she lives in Cali and he lives in Australia, so I don't know how well it's bringing people together, if you know what I mean. But um,
Yeah, that's whack.
but one of the devs that I had the file for it, and I was going through his Patreon with him and her in a Discord call. I was sharing my screen with him, and she goes, "What is that little car?" It was a little. It literally looks like a Power Wheel, and it was a Hellcat Charger. And I got that for her. She's not an admin, but she'll be probably one of the only people that has it. Because, I mean, I'll have one because I think they're awesome. There's a Chrysler 300 that also has a Hellcat motor in it. And then he said he's going to try and get me this Ford F450 that I want in the city, but I don't know how well that is going. I probably should have held his car over his head till I got mine, but I'm not that type of person, so.
I see.
But nah. And then the second city is the city that I'm currently in. He doesn't add cars in very often, and this is primary car-based city. He'll add in 2 new cars a month. I go, dude, you got to be adding way more cars in if you want to keep your population. I go, there's no reason that on a Friday night there should be 15 people in the city. People should be sitting in queue to get into the city. And for those that don't know, queue is when you gotta wait to fly into a city if it's a highly populated city. Like there's some YouTubers out there, Mr. KYR Speedy, Deluxe 4, and then a
Oh,
Twitch
come on.
streamer.
People know who they are.
Twitch streamer by Kenny G. They all played in my old city that I used to be a part of. I'm not gonna name that city because they didn't name it in their video, so I'm not gonna name it here. But and I have a couple clips of interacting with each one of them, but you kind of need someone popular on a social media platform, unfortunately, to really get a server to pop off. Like in post editing, a lot of them would when they pull up their phone, because if you didn't set a wallpaper, the default logo for the city was the phone's background, so they would shrink one side of the screen when he was making a call. That way it didn't show what city it was, but in his earlier videos you could see where he was at. He's done remove those videos now because he doesn't play in that city, but most of them are all in no pixel now, which is honestly not really even a goal of mine because I like to be able to goof about. I don't want to have to RP all the time. When the city I'm in now is a semi-serious RP, and no pixels a nothing but RP, you will get kicked. And I found out the other day that they sell queues. There's 2 tiers of queue. Tier 1 is $150. Tier 2 is $300. I go, I'm going to stick to my whitelist servers that I can get into without having to pay for queue until we get big enough. But,
You're telling me there's people... I'm sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt. You're telling me that people actually pay to sit, like,
it's a
or to
one-time
get,
thing,
like, an
though.
advancement in a queue?
Uh-huh.
Like, what?
I did it in Noir for a year.
Oh, my god. Anyways, go ahead. I don't mean to interrupt.
But the second city that I it launches next week, I'll have my shop, my trucks that I want that the current city is lacking on putting in, for a better word. I'll have all that as soon as the city opens. But a lot of the people from my current city do not like how the city's going, so they're all going to this new city. So I'm not really losing. I won't have to make new friends because a lot of my friends will be in the other city too. But for those that are interested, I'll give Will the link for the website for you that want to fill out the. It is a whitelist, so you do have to fill out a whitelist application. Both of them are whitelists, so. But the whitelist for the second city is not up yet. If you were in the Discord before they went white or before they launched, you automatically just get a free whitelist. So.
Yeah, I'll make sure to put it in the description. And to whitelist is basically just an application to be allowed to be in the server, from my understanding, right?
Yes, and I will say, it's called Renown RP. Is my primary city, and you do got to be of the age of 18. You got to have some RP knowledge, which I could, if I could convince Will to play, I could get him in without even them second guessing him. But it's just something that him and I kind of have a few games that we like to play that are the same games, but our genres are completely different on what we like to play. He likes. What did you just finish? You're in the middle of streaming what? No, not Dead by Daylight.
Oh dear God, not anymore. Dark Souls.
Dark Souls. He's in the Dark Souls, Skyrim. I think the only game in that genre. What is that genre even considered?
Hold on, Discord just cut out. Are you still there?
Yeah. What genre is Skyrim and the other game considered?
Probably more RPGs. They are different games, but I would say they're both in the role-playing aspect. So, but not in the sense of like GTA RP.
Because you're spiking for me. Let me pause this. Alright. Alright. What was it called?
What was what called?
Well, I'm just gonna assume you said because I can't hear you at all on my end, so,
Hold on.
there you go. I can hear you now.
Oh yeah, I'm struggling Discord a little bit.
Alright.
Okay, we're good.
You're still a little bit Mr. Roboto.
Give me a second. Let me. Is that any better?
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
Just closing out some programs.
What was the genre of the game? To get back to that.
It's more like role playing. I mean, they're not too much the same, but
Yeah, but RP roleplay and Skyrim and that game's RP are completely different.
yeah, it's different because the RP in like GTA 5 RP, you actually have to like work for, if you will. Like everyone actually has to like roleplay, whereas in those games you're put into the role of somebody else. That's not a character that necessarily you create. So like Skyrim, for example, like you're the chosen dragonborn, right? It's different than being Jack Mehoff, the newest entry to the city.
I hate you so much.
I know.
I changed my last name in this new city. It's Joe Mahomies.
Joe Mahomies. Classy.
So then when they ask my last name, my friends are around, it's Joe and my homies.
That's valid.
And then I'm into like sandbox games. Like GTA is considered a sandbox game.
I like sandbox games too. Like we just recently played The Forest, which I think
I died.
I definitely want to give another. Yeah, we failed horribly at it. I'd like to give it another try. Maybe just start over. But
yeah,
we played different like survival games. We played Ark Survival a lot.
Yeah, Survivals is another one I like. We both like to play, which I'm trying to get him to play it because I feel like he'll love it, which is the new Forza Horizon. I sent him a Game Pass, or I got a Game Pass 3-month free trial for him. Whenever he wants to redeem it, I'll send it to him. But that's one of my favorite all-time games is Forza.
I played a lot of Forza Horizon 1, and I loved it. And Forza Horizon 2 was okay. I didn't play as much of it. I think
But this
the one that I played the most was 3 or 4. Whatever one we
three.
played together. 3.
Yeah.
Because that was Australia, right?
Yes. It was down under.
Down under.
But I don't know. It's one of those games that it's kind of hard to fuck up. But yeah. Car Simulator, Teardown, which I don't really ever play anymore.
So I wanted to bounce off something. You mentioned a car from Fast and Furious, and I remembered a headline that I saw, and while you were talking, I looked it up to kind of clarify. Senior Riley here is a big Fast fan. And we went and watched, which one was it? 9 together?
I made him watch all 8 of them in a week before we went.
I didn't watch 8. I think I watched up to Fast 7.
Yeah.
And then
no, I think
8.
you got 6.
Or 6, yeah. I think I skipped a movie or 2. But anyways, did you hear that the director of Fast 10 quit over or because of Vin Diesel?
That's false news, just so you know.
But is it? Because
it's
here I have
Justin
an article.
Justin Lin, the director.
Yeah, so I wanted to read a post here from HuffPost.
Sounds
read
like
the
a fake news website.
A lot of websites have a description of it. You can tell that he likes Fast. He's defending this already, and I haven't even read the article.
But here's the thing. This came out. They just started filming Fast 10, which 10 and 11 are filming at the same time. But they're going to be separate movies. It's going to be a cliffhanger at the end of 10 to lead into 11 that will come out 2 years prior to 10, which is, I think, supposed to come out next year, if I remember correctly. But it's kind of like the whole Vin Diesel and Rock situation. They have a beef. They squashed it for, I think, 3 or 4 movies. I don't remember exactly. And that's why he wasn't in 8. That's why... Or no, he was in 8, but he wasn't in 9.
Yeah.
And then Brock also has a beef with Tyrese Gibson, which is... I'm blanking on his... Roman is his character's name. But they started filming, like I said, they started filming Fast 10 about a week and a half ago. No, it was probably 2.5 weeks ago. Because they just confirmed that Jason Momoa is in 10, which is probably going to wind up being related to Dominic Toretto somehow, but we'll see how that plays out. But the director, Justin Lin, was rumored to have quit the movie after the first week of filming. Keep in mind, Justin Lin has directed most of the Fast and Furious. He's not directed all of them.
He's directed 5 movies, it looks like.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I went ahead and, HuffPost, maybe it is fake news. No offense to any writers for HuffPost, but I went to a Daily News, or New York Daily News, so...
Sounds like a fake news website.
Anyways, so the first line reads this: Justin Lin quit as director of Fast 10 because star Vin Diesel is so difficult, according to one of their sources. So, and this is what I found really funny. The source also says Diesel shows up late to set. He doesn't know his lines, and he shows up out of shape. Oh my gosh.
I mean, personally, last time I checked, round is a shape, but he's also like 62, if I remember correctly. I'll look that up, but
I mean, have you seen Chronicles of Riddick? This dude was ripped for that, but he's looking like a couch potato driving a Mustang now. Like,
okay, He doesn't drive a Mustang. That's Jacob that drives the Mustang. Smart one.
I wasn't trying to be accurate. I was just trying to
How
make a
dare
point.
you?
Again, you can tell how much he loves this. Um,
Oh, he's only 54. He was in his
yeah,
60s. That's
yeah, he's
great.
still pretty young, it seems, but this isn't. As you mentioned, he's had that beef with The Rock or whatever. Um, but looks like Hollywood has been, or as per the Hollywood Reporter, they've been kind of scrambling to find a new director. It looks like. Um, so since the filmmaker's exit, Universal has reportedly been scrambling to find a replacement. With the delay costing the studio upwards to $600,000 to $1 million a day, and that's actually according to Variety not magazine, but the website. Um, so that's interesting to say the least. I just thought it'd be very interesting to bring up. You mentioned Fast, and it reminded me of it.
Yeah. I'm reading an article about it now. And I'm illiterate, so this may take a minute. So, that's enough of that.
Well, you want to talk about how was it you almost drowned me as a kid? You want to talk about that?
I mean, I don't really remember it, but sure. I think all I did was push you off a bridge, and your dumbass didn't know how to swim. So
we were like, okay, so
there was no we. You're a year younger than me, so I was like maybe 8. You were probably 7.
Yeah, so there's like a little over a year difference between us in age, and
it's just shy of a year.
Yeah, something like that. And where we lived around the time, there was kind of like a river creek in the back area, and there's this little bridge. And from recollections of our family, or my family, I don't know if
my family wasn't there, so
yeah, so it would have been my family then. The way they recollect it is that you just kind of shoved me off and expected me to either swim or drown. I don't even know.
Okay, in my defense, I've been in this creek. We've both, in our 20s, have been in this creek millions of times over our childhood.
Well, yeah, that's after the fact that I probably couldn't swim at the time. I don't know. I've got infant amnesia.
Let me finish. This is no deeper than maybe 2 feet. Yes, I know you can drown in a teacup of water, but still.
I was a small kid, alright? I wasn't like,
You're
just
still
towering.
A small human being.
I'm average height. I'm 5'10". Leave me alone.
How are you 5'10" and I'm taller than you and I'm only 5'9"?
Hey, inches matter, alright?
Well, that's what she said.
I mean, am I wrong?
I don't know. Is that what she said?
Beats me.
Alright,
Maybe.
So I just looked up and I got something I want your opinion on. I already got your opinion outside of a recording on it, but
I'm not sure what your opinion is.
Me and Will went to see a comedian a couple weeks back. Keep in mind, I've been listening to this comedian, and it's Michael Blaustein for people that might know him. He does a podcast with Trevor Wallace, the White Claw guy, called Stiff Socks. I've been listening to this podcast for probably 2.5 years. Well, now that I actually had some money put back, and I was like, well, if I can I buy the tickets and you drive, do you want to go up to go see him? He's like, sure. I warned him too. I go, there's going to be some feet jokes because Michael's in the feet. For you that don't know, I would suggest you go and listening before you finish any of this. But
yeah, shout out to Michael Blaustein and the Stiff Socks podcast. I know, they want to be us, but they just can't be. So sorry about that, guys.
Oh, jeez. But
all jokes. Continue.
Yeah. So I knew what to expect. Unfortunately for me, have listening to that podcast for 2.5 years, a lot of the jokes that Michael said I already knew because he says them throughout the podcast. Like they've got their I can tell you, I think they're 120 some episodes on their Apple Podcast, Spotify. 173 episodes in on their Apple Podcast, and then they have a Patreon. And their Patreon, they're over 100 episodes in. So there's almost 300 episodes worth of, maybe even closer to 400. And I've listened to all of them. So I've heard all of his jokes, but it just kind of upset me that he didn't really difference his comedy from his podcast and his actual stand-up special. Well, not his special, but his stand-up act. And Will, going up to this, if we gone somewhere, had listened to the podcast, if he dared to give me the odd squirt in the car, we would listen to it on the way somewhere. But other than that, he hadn't listened to it, so he was going in blind. And I wanted you to share with everybody your first impressions of Mr. Michael Blaustein.
So I wasn't necessarily aware of Michael before the show, but I was aware of his co-host from the Stiff Socks Pod, Trevor, from some of the skit comedy he does on YouTube, and I've seen it on TikTok and stuff. So I was expecting just kind of that style of humor, right? I mean, obviously it's kind of clever, dirty, whatever kind of humor.
It's called raunchy humor.
Yeah, raunchy. Thank you. But so, we get in there and stuff like that. And like I said, he does some really good crowd work. I've seen it on TikTok. He did some really cool crowd work. Even at the show that we were at, it was really cool. And so, everything is going fine. Like, I'm laughing a lot, obviously, because I don't know a lot of the content like he does. And then, of course, as he mentioned, he gets to the feet. Was he doing crowd work when he mentioned it? Because I swear,
yeah,
feet were brought into it because of someone.
He started asking people what they're into, and then he was like, "Hey, yo, I'm in the feet."
And yeah, so that was probably not the weirdest thing I heard, but it was the start of something many. Something many? Wow, English is hard still. Start of many, odd things to hear. Overall, I really liked it. I thought it was fun. I definitely would go see him again if he came back around. I really do just like going to watch stand-up in general, because my girlfriend and I actually did just go watch one. But what were you going to say?
Trevor's getting ready to end his theater tour, and I'm hoping when he takes his break and goes back and does stand-up, he comes to the town near us. Not to out ourselves, but and then there's Tom Segura and Bert Kreischer that I'd also like to see.
Tom Segura, gosh, I saw Tom Segura's first special on Netflix years ago, and I loved it. I'm so glad he's getting the recognition he deserves.
Speaking of those two, did you see what Bert Kreischer did for Tom for his birthday?
No, I didn't.
Bought him $100,000 BMW race car, because I also listen to their podcast that they have together.
Oh, don't they try to just one-up each other for both of their
every
birthdays
year,
every year?
They're one-upping each other. It started with electric bike. Tom got Bert an electric bike. Then Bert got Tom jet skis. And then Tom flew a private jet to pick up Bert in California, fly him to Austin film podcast, and then he had the private jet for the entire weekend, which they went from, I think Bert said he maybe spent $7,500 on the jet skis for Tom. Tom said he spent upwards of $75,000 for the private jet. So they they did a big jump right there. Curious to see, because if I remember correctly, Bert's birthday's in November, so I'm curious on how Tom's gonna up $100,000, but we'll see.
Yeah, we'll keep you guys updated on that if you guys don't update yourself. Kind of speaking of podcasts, I figured we've been talking about it a lot. We started this. Well, I guess I say we. I don't know. You've been listening to the podcast for a while, but after starting to listen to some podcasts myself, I brought this idea to you to start this,
Yeah.
and really excited, honestly. We talked about it, what, maybe 2 months. We talked about it on and off, honestly, but we
On and
finally,
off. I think it started about a year ago, and then
yeah, and
we
then
we
one.
were work. I mean, we're still working opposite schedules now with our actual jobs, but it kind of works out. It will probably just we'll probably film one a week on my days off if he's available, if Will's available on those two
which
days.
which I normally am. Like I said,
Yeah.
so just to preface, I work a second shift, so early afternoon into the evening, and he typically works third shift, so graveyard 10 to 6, however you want to put it. So, I'm more than willing to stay up on the nights that he's off after I get off work or whatever, to do this, and we just game as well. So it really is a pleasure
Minus
to be
the
doing this with you.
last month and a half that it's taken. It's been like finding a needle in the haystack for us to connect to even do anything at the same time.
Yes, so that's
Because by the
funny.
time he gets off, so my work week starts on Saturday night. I work from Saturday to Thursday morning. And then Thursday night and Friday night, I'm off. Well, Will normally works both those nights. So if I'm not able to come home and go to sleep as soon as I get home from work, then I'm screwed for the rest of the day. I'm either up until literally an hour before he gets off, then I lay down and I fall asleep, and that screws up our plan. Or like a good boyfriend, he wants to go take his girlfriend out for dinner or something like that, which I understand.
Which is
And
pretty
then we have
rare.
yeah, but that's you know what I mean. It's been hard
Yeah.
the last couple months, but I made sure today that I made time for him and went to bed when I got my yard work done when I got home from work today.
Let's hope for consistency. That was my biggest thing. Like, with starting this, like of course, I'm more than welcome to stay up, or more than happy.
I'm glad
to
you're
stay
more
up
than
and do it.
welcome.
No, of course, I'm more than welcome. I'm more than happy to stay up and do this because it's something I enjoy. Like, I mean, it gets us to connect for some time. I mean, we play games anyways, but it really works out and it's really nice. It's just, like I said, consistency. And once, like I said, I actually wanted to put it into practice a month and a half ago, like you said. And since then, we have seen each other 2 or 3 times. It's just a matter of gaming. Has it been like too possible? But I made all of the stuff for it. I hope you guys do enjoy the visuals. If there's any way we can spice them up, like, feel free to leave a comment or anything like that. While we're on the subject, I mean, there is room for guests. If you guys have anybody you might want to see on the podcast, maybe if
To a reasonable measure,
with
like
reason. Obviously, we're not going to try to reach out to, like, I don't know, KY or Speedy and be like, "Hey,
Or
I'm gonna come on our
Trevor
podcast."
Wallace that has 10 viewers. Yeah.
Yeah, right. So I mean, if you know us personally, or me or Riley personally, and you want to come on the show, or maybe we'll reach out to some people, just leave some suggestions. I try to also, maybe we'll make some different socials for you guys to keep up with. Like, I'll definitely make a Twitter at minimum, because I'm on Twitter nonstop, it seems like, and
That's
we'll keep it up that way.
Elon Musk bought it.
Elon, oh my gosh. Speaking of him, we'll get back to this other thing in a second, but did you see that he, like, tweeted out his Elden Ring build, and it's the dumbest thing in the world, but I love it?
I didn't see that. Okay. Just for reference, I'll open Twitter on my phone and read the most recent date on the post. Because I never open Twitter on my phone. I don't know why it's still on my phone.
Gosh. To preface, he responded to a picture of, like, it was a mosque picture, and or a picture of something mosque-esque. I don't mean to offend anyone of their culture or religion by saying that, but he, like, replied to the tweet and he said Elden Ring vibes, and I'm just going off the top of my head from this, so don't mind if I get something wrong in it. And somebody asked him what his Elden Ring build was, and he said he was a Dex Int player. So essentially, what that means is he uses katanas and uses magic in this game, and he switches between like heavy armor for tanking and like medium armor for dodging. It's just so goofy. I think it's so funny as like a Souls guy. Like I just found it so goofy and funny. But did you find the most recent date on your Twitter?
Yeah.
You
April
wanna
1st
disclose it? Of what, this year or last year?
this year.
I mean,
So
it's
about
only
a
a month.
month. But I only check it. Speaking of influencers and rich people, I don't know if that's a good segue or not, but I don't know how much you pay attention. Someone we both grew up watching, Wildcat, started a vlog channel. Every Sunday he posts a vlog, and it's been lit.
I guess I saw that. I haven't followed much Wildcat recently. I know he went to PAX recently, and he was there with like Grizzy and Blark and Puffer and all of them, and I thought that was really cool. But other than that, I haven't watched him.
Okay, and I feel like I should disclose this. The Grizz that I play with is not the same Grizz as that guy.
Yes,
Completely different people.
Grizzy is a big black man. If you haven't seen his stuff, then please do.
Yeah.
Grizzy's funny.
Yeah, he's great. But
So, but yeah, back to what I was saying. I segued from Elon Musk, and we ended up at black men. But if you guys, if there's any like smaller people or anyone with interesting stories you might think would be a good fit for the podcast, we're pretty early in, it's episode 1, baby. But if you think of anyone that could be a good fit for the podcast, we can have them in. Maybe I'll make a business email to send some story suggestions to at some point. You can also, like I said, leave a comment, and maybe we can reach out into some DMs on social media or something like that. But like I said, yeah, consistency. What's up?
And I brought up to Will before we started recording this that there's a TikToker that I used to watch, but I watch his YouTube content now, but his name's Brady, or something like that. Anyways, he goes and reads subreddits. And I wanted to do a segment of that, but I'm illiterate, so that's not going to happen in this episode, but maybe in a future episode. So when I go back to school and learn how to read.
Yeah, yeah, where we grew up, we didn't really learn how to read. We just shucked corn, and that's probably about it.
Will shucked corn and drove a Civic to school. I shucked corns and drove trucks to school, so.
Yeah, we're...
It's really a polar opposite relationship, honestly.
No, we're just cream of the crop, alright? That's what's up.
Okay.
Not, okay. Well, you took it that way. I mean, cream of the crop as in,
2:30 in the morning. Who wouldn't take it that way this late at night?
I mean, I definitely didn't. But anyways. God, what else? Do you want to talk about the time that we almost had our high school shot up? Do you remember that?
I was just thinking about this the other day at work.
Oh, really?
Yeah, so you remember, okay, so it was we had what? 1 our senior year, 2 our junior year, and I think 3 our sophomore year.
I have no memory of anything other than senior year, so you're going to have to really go into those.
Okay, so keep in mind, for those that don't know, I had some events that happened my sophomore year. They're not going to be disclosed here ever, for that matter. So I don't really remember those because I was a little preoccupied with stuff outside of school and stuff like that. But we had 2 bomb threats our junior year. Keep in mind, at this time, I had my license. Will didn't. Will was in the process of getting his, I believe. But the one thing I hated about our school, and this is what it brought up, what recirculated the memory in my head the other night at work, Granted, I'm left alone on aisles to stock and stuff like that throughout the night, so I think about the most randomest shit. Um, but I know the first one. I think one of because the three are junior year were also bomb threats, I believe. But one of them they released. They allowed your mom to bring me home, or your grandpa or somebody.
I have no memory of that, honestly.
And then our junior year, one of them, your mom had to call. I think either your mom or your grandparent, one of your grandparents had to call because they wouldn't. And my dad had already called, my grandma had already called. Whoever called for me had called and told them I could leave because at that time I had my driver's license. And they said, if you have a driver's license, you're not of the age of 18, which at the time I wasn't. They were like, have an adult call the school and say you can leave and we'll let you go. So
Oh, okay, okay.
now
That
you're
rings a little
remembering.
bit of a bell. I don't remember that
So,
it was about anything that, like, are dangerous, but I just remember there were people leaving throughout the day.
but yeah, Will wind up, I think, leaving with me that day. I think that's back when I had my
Probably.
Camaro.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah, that was one of them. So I still had my Camaro. Um, and then I think I ended up just sticking out with the other ones. I don't know what you did. And then the one senior year, keep in mind I turned 18 at the end of our junior year. And then at that point, I'm legally an adult. Yes, I still have a whole nother year of school to finish, but the ones that happened our senior year, no, I wasn't there for the senior year one. Because remember, I was only at our school for 4 hours a day, the first 4 periods of the day. Remember? So
Yeah,
you'll have to
so
elaborate on that one.
yeah, so I don't even remember. I was in some sort of science class. I had to have my classes changed around at the very beginning of my senior year, but I was in a science class, and there's always this really weird gentleman, this weird kid. We'll call him Joe for this instance.
Oh, that's
Kind of kept to himself. I don't know. I guess he was kind of. I don't know if he got bullied or what it was. There were some kids that picked on him in this class, but I didn't ever think it was meant to be harmful. So one day, it kind of gets leaked out that Joe here has a hit list, as
I
in
remember
a
hearing about
literal,
this.
as in literally, yeah, a list of people that he planned to delete from planet Earth with a firearm at school the following day. Supposedly, that was the rumor. So, as Riley mentioned, we were in a program to where, kind of like a vocational program, so we would attend a specialized class for the first half of our day or the last half of our day, depending
For
on what it
him, it
was.
was the first
Um,
class. Mine,
anyway,
I
yeah,
went
so,
and worked after
no, so
my first 4 hours.
So at the in my morning class, which was outside of the school, I had I talked about it with some people from the other schools that were involved in this, as well as some from ours, and we decided that we weren't going to go to school that day. Turns out, whenever the rumors were investigated, Joe had access or ample access to firearms. The list was accurate in that it existed, and he was actually on the verge of coming and recreating Columbine. So that was very interesting. A really good way to finish off senior year. But we had a lot of wacky stuff happen where we went to high
Didn't
school. I
the
mean,
didn't the list get linked at one point? I remember because
I
I'm
don't.
pretty sure I was on it.
No, I don't
One of
ever
us was
remember.
on it. I can't remember who was on it.
I definitely don't
Either
think it would
you
have
or
been
I
me.
was on it. I'm
You
not
wouldn't
really
have. I don't think you would have known this kid, so that would have been weird. But
Text me the person's name and I can tell you for sure if I was on it or not.
I don't even
But
remember his name, to be honest. I remember his first name, but that's it. And I don't even think it's correct. But anyways, I thought that was a kind of a crazy.
was he an
wacky story.
underclassman or was he in our class?
Underclass. He wouldn't have been
Okay, then
anywhere
I wasn't on his
undergrad.
list. There was one.
Yeah,
remember the bomb threat that was left in the toilet? You remember that
Yes,
one?
that I do remember that one. That was
Yeah.
funny.
Written by a student as a joke, and they evacuated us to the elementary gym first. And then the same person went and put a bomb threat in that toilet or something like that. And then the entire school got evacuated to the football field.
Yeah, that was really not a sick, nasty prank. It wasn't very sicko mode of them.
No.
It was kind of just weird.
I'm just
But
glad it got diffused.
okay, did you really just do that?
Yep.
We're making Columbine references, dad jokes, the whole 9 yards. Is this really how it's gonna be every week?
Yep.
What did I sign myself up for? Oh,
Great
God.
success.
Okay, Borat. I don't know. Do you have any interesting things going on, at least right now, that you want to talk about? Or anything you think would be fun to tell on the podcast?
No.
Okay, here's a question.
Not that I can think of.
Okay, well, here's the question then. The question to end all questions. Spaghetti or meat?
Spaghetti.
Damn straight.
Without hesitation.
So one thing I thought...
The only thing that would deter me towards meat is a certain meat. Like if it was steak, pork chops, stuff
Are you
like
naming
that.
what you don't like?
No, those are the things I do like just off the top of my head.
Okay.
If it was, say it was these three meats over spaghetti, I'd take the meats over the spaghetti. But if it's just a bland meats or spaghetti, I'm gonna take meats.
Well, I mean, you can get like meat sauce for spaghetti. It's not like uncommon to get like meat sauce with spaghetti.
Yeah. I get it at our favorite restaurant that we go to in that city.
You can just say Fazoli's. It's not like it's not like it's a forbidden chain.
Oh yeah, they don't.
There's Fazoli's that exists. They're not like a family-owned place. If you know Fazoli's, leave a like on this video. Anyways.
I didn't know this was in video form.
Yeah, I made visuals and stuff like that. I thought I sent them to you. Maybe I sent them to somebody else.
Yeah, a month ago. You really think I remember that?
I don't know. Anyways.
I just came up with a idea, but keep going. Cause
all I was gonna say was, no, it's a bit of a wacky, goofy idea. Like, I've been wanting to make more like YouTube stuff, and I think this was gonna be a good start. Having something consistent to work on like this, and I'm working on some different things on my own channel. I'd really like to branch out and, I don't know, make something different.
I mean,
you know?
I feel the same. I just don't have the correct equipment right now to do. I want to do Twitch and YouTube, but I don't have. I'm pretty sure my stuff would blow up now if I tried, but I might try.
Maybe if you stream GTA RP, probably, because it's already so resource intensive, and then you put OBS in where it's I mean, I guess not. I mean, it's like that one time I tried to stream Destiny 2 once, and it just looked like I was playing on a toaster. So that didn't happen.
That's because you were playing on a toaster of a pre-build at the time.
No, I'm pretty sure I played it on this rig that I have now.
I don't think so. You just built that within the last year.
No, I've had this one since 2019.
Oh.
I've had this one for 3 years.
So I got a segment, another one of my podcasts does, which I think I want to integrate now, and if it lasts, it lasts. If not, it doesn't. It's a Would You Rather. So I'm on Reddit. I just searched Would You Rathers, and we're going to go through them.
Okay, you know, this is actually interesting. It's not... So go ahead.
No, finish what you were saying before I go.
No, I was just going to say, like, as long as we don't do something that requires, like, a visual aspect, we're good.
No.
So, go ahead.
Alright, so the first one is, would you rather get fired from your current job or cheat cheated on once by your partner. So
So that
basically, would you rather have your partner, which for one of us is severely more significant than the other, or would you
okay?
rather get fired from your job?
Hey, can you send me the link to this so we can look at it too?
Yeah.
I don't know. That is a tough one. So,
I'd rather get cheated on my partner that doesn't exist, but whatever.
I mean, I would probably that's tough because like I'm in a pretty good point in my job right now, but at the same time, I would really prefer to not,
Yeah, I don't blame you on that
be
one.
cheated on. I think my relationship probably takes the cake over that, so I'd rather quit my job.
And that's saying something from someone that potentially I still don't know whether I was cheated on by someone that meant a lot to me in my life. Still means a lot to me in my life, but
Anyways,
yeah. Enough of that
um,
depressing crap.
so
Uh,
let's see here. He sent me
just
the
go
link
in
to
order.
it. It's just a Reddit. Oh,
I'm
we're
gonna
just going in
just
order.
go in
So,
order, yeah. So if you want to hit
just
the next one, or I can hit the next one.
yeah, I don't care. Some of these just don't. Some of these look weird. Okay, so would you rather become 33% more attractive or 10% smarter? So this post, this is gonna be, but let's just go with only the top two options because
Yeah,
they have bonus options in this thread, but
and it
I don't
doesn't make
think
sense
that.
without visually seeing it.
Yeah, and it doesn't make sense. Period. Like one of them is just being immune to cancer. I don't really like. Is that a superpower? I don't get it. Anyways, what would you do? 33% more attractive or 10% smarter?
Um, well, as the dumber and lesser attractive friend of the friend group, I'm gonna have to go with 10% smarter. Going with what I have to deal with and what I have to help raise in life, I'd rather be smarter than attractive.
Yeah, I think smarts outweigh being attractive. Honestly, being smarter
I
leads
mean,
to
you could be
probably
a
a lot more.
solid two, and as you could be as smart as Albert Einstein and still get girls or whatever you want to measure that on.
Yeah, if you
Um,
want to use smarts to get girls specifically, yeah, but I mean, and just in general life aspects, being 10% smarter gets you a long way. The amount of like wealth and knowledge you could accumulate.
all
Uh,
right. In a duel, would you rather have a European longsword or a Japanese katana?
what exactly
I
is a
don't know what a
European
European
longsword?
longsword is. I'm gonna look that up real fast.
Yeah, like what exactly? Oh, it's just a standard longsword, is all it is. I didn't know
It's
that
kind
it
of like
was,
King Arthur's sword.
so to speak. Yeah, it's just like a standard one you would see in most medieval and fictional media. Like, I probably katana. I would honestly go with the katana. Maybe I'm just a weeb, but I like katanas. And my dex build. Haha. I'm kidding.
I'm gonna go with the longsword.
Okay, so do you wanna kind of explain that? What makes you choose a longsword over a katana?
Um, cause yeah, a katana might be able to cut better than a longsword, but I'm choosing this in the circumstances that I'm in a sword fight. You're gonna want a longsword over a katana, because a katana's made straight for killing, primarily. It's not really made to take blows from another sword. From the looks of it, a longsword is.
Interesting. So there are different forms of katanas, though. So, for example, there's what's called a washing pole, and it's just a katana but extremely long. So, while it may not be made to take blows, maybe that, maybe you don't have to, as long as you're good enough at dodging it, keeping your distance. Yeah, because the katana, a standard katana, is shorter than a long sword. However, I assume that a long sword is heavier and requires more balance to use, whereas a katana, you can be more agile with it. It's about really closing the distance, it seems, and being able to, get a blow in without taking one yourself. So, actually, that was pretty good. Pretty thought provoking. This is a good idea. I'm proud. I'm
Um,
proud of you.
you want to hit the one that is about tomatoes scales and potatoes, since I know there's some foods in there that you don't like.
Okay, so here's a would you rather. It looks like there's a little bit of stipulation to it. So it's a would you rather only eat sardines, tomatoes, kale, potatoes, or fast food. So these options are a little weird. So the top option shows only eat sardines, oranges, tomatoes, kale, potatoes, and whole wheat bread. Only drink water and alcohol. Or, so basically, um,
And then the second options, for you that don't know Mr. Wilt personally, is his actual diet.
it's just, yeah, real funny. The second option is you can only eat or drink anything from fast food and alcohol. I mean, actually, you're not wrong. That's the sad truth. Well, Mister, I don't eat only fast food. What are you gonna pick?
I mean, I'm gonna go with the eat only fast food restaurants, and I don't drink but alcohol, because I don't eat kale or sardines.
I mean,
I guess it doesn't.
Yeah.
I guess I could probably sub those with something, but I'd
You can
rather
probably
have
make a
clogged
plethora of things
arteries
with
and be fat as shit than be skinny and miserable all the time.
I mean, to be fair, like you would probably there's no like real like protein in that. The only protein you get is from sardines, and you'd have to eat so much. Whereas fast food, you could probably get more protein intake than you would. Because technically, if you think about it, right, you can only eat or drink anything from fast food. So anything that would be considered fast food, like I mean, for you, I know you love Culver's. So man, you get to eat Culver's every day, and like, why wouldn't you? And they
I
have
was
water
gonna
at
ask you
fast
if
food
you wanted to
restaurants.
go. Screw you.
But no, I'm not making fun of you. I'm just saying, like you like Culver's. Culver's is good. Culver's has water. Like Culver's or fast food restaurants have water,
Yeah.
and you could literally get like more intake or better like caloric intake and maybe not as much vitamins. But it's kind of a silly question if you think about it.
I got one for you. Who would you rather control your body and life for a week? Joe Biden, Donald Trump, Charles Manson, or your friendly golden retriever?
A golden retriever, 100%. I would rather have a dog control me in my life than any of the three above.
I'm gonna go with Donald Trump,
You wanna elaborate?
because my thought process is, how rich can he make me in a week?
I mean, do you really think that would be his goal? Like he just randomly wakes up in some 22-year-old's body and he's like, "I'm gonna make this man rich." Like,
Okay, but you also gotta he's coming with his mindset, right? From his 70-some-year-old body, right? He's gonna fuck prostitutes, so I might get an STD or two for the first couple days. But then he's gonna realize that I'm fucking poor as shit and have no money, and he's gonna try to do everything to make his life easier as me with money.
I guess. I mean, I just think that you added the STD.
I mean, if
thing
you want to go
in.
piss on fire hydrants and wander around a backyard for 8 hours, you go right ahead.
I mean, the second best option is Charles Manson, probably. Minus, the cult part.
No, because then you're gonna go back to your when you come back after that week in your own body, you're gonna be in prison for murder.
Well, just because Charles Manson inherits the body doesn't mean he's like, oh, well, I better go to prison. No, he's going to come back and he's going to
go
become
murder.
free.
Like he did back then.
He didn't, so he wasn't he was a cult leader more than a serial killer. The only reason that he killed people was so that way he would try to start a war.
His primary thing was to convince other people to do the murder for him, right?
Convince other people what? Discord cut out.
Did you die again?
No, hello? What do you mean, did I die again? Are you alive?
Hello?
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 I hear you.
You're spiking again.
I see it.
Alright, there we go. You're good now.
No, yeah,
Um,
anyways.
but no, back
Charles
to what I
Manson.
was saying. He manipulated people to do the murder for him, right?
No,
And
yeah, well,
occasionally
that's
would
what
do them himself.
that's what cult leaders do. Cult leaders just
Okay,
manipulate
let me finish. If you were Charles Manson and you were given my body or your body and you could do what you could go and commit murder and then do whatever you wanted to do and knew that you and your body wasn't going to get in trouble for it, the person that came back to their body a week later was going to get in trouble, you wouldn't do it?
I don't know. I mean, it just kind of depends on what resources are available and like who I was. Like if I just
I
ended
have
up
a
in some random
concealed
person's
carry
body,
license. There's a gun in my truck. Remember?
I'm like, yeah, I mean, so that's your business, and that's whoever takes over your body's business. Which you're letting Donald Trump handle that gun, so have fun. Uh,
Yeah.
he, the one below it's really funny. I have to read this one. Would you rather piss 10 times faster and shit 10 times slower, or vice versa? I think I would rather probably shit faster but pee slower, because you know what you could
Yeah.
just do anytime you felt like you had to pee, you could just go, or like you could preemptively, pardon me, wow, you can preemptively go and pee, and that would be it.
I'm gonna go with the same reason, primarily because I'm a slow pisser as it is, or not as it is. I'm a fast pisser as it is,
I
and
was gonna say, what
a
does it
slow
mean to be a
shitter.
slow one?
So I just want to experience the other half, the other side of the. Would you rather?
Well, how would the peas the peas
The peeing
the
slow.
peas so how does it be slower? Does it just come out slower, like from your body? Like do you?
You have a bigger bladder.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. Do you just get more, like you have more of a
Yeah,
bladder, or
that's
is it
my
that it literally
assumption.
just like slow mo? Can you imagine that it's just like a frame by frame?
No,
It's just a frame by frame of you taking a piss. You know, that would be like something to catch on camera. Like you could live stream that, and people would probably pay for it.
Yeah, I guess.
Yeah, I don't know.
Um,
You wanna read the next one? The next one's pretty good too.
yeah. Would you rather become blind for 5 years or not be able to have sex or masturbate for 10? I'm sorry, this is a little R-rated, but I'm gonna be blind for. Either way, you're screwed because if you're blind, you're not gonna be able to masturbate because unless it's a thought, you'll still be able to have sex, and that's a plus. That's a W in my book. So I'm gonna go blind for 5 years.
That's so funny. You're like, yeah, I'm blind, but at least I'm still getting laid.
Because you gotta
That's your
think,
thought.
95% of men and women that masturbate are normally watching some sort of video, right?
I mean, they could listen, or they could they have like braille, like they're like reading like fanfic in braille, and they're like, oh my gosh,
It's just braille porn.
it has to exist, right?
Is that a thing? Oh,
Incognito
God.
knows. Yeah, hold on, go incognito if you're gonna do that. For the love of God, there's no need you to have the internet provider asking why you're looking up braille porn. I think while you do that, I think I would definitely take the 10-year bet. Because I don't like the idea of being blind at all. Because you can't drive, you can't work, you can't really claim.
Yeah, but you gotta think it's only for 10 years. You gotta think, in those 10 years, you don't have to pay for vehicle insurance, gas, especially right now.
You mean 5 years?
5 years, yes. You don't have to pay for insurance on the vehicle for 5 years, tag renewal for 5 years, gas for 5 years.
You know how much you miss out on for 5 years, though? I would rather
I
just.
work nights. I don't do anything as it is.
But that's not the point. The point is you would still I would rather not do the latter because That's such a small part of life, and you'd be missing out on doing so much. Plus, you could just like, if you wanted to have children, like before you took this bet, you could just free sperm.
Okay, for instance, let's assume you're taking that bet right now. Are you prepped?
No, of course not.
Neither am I, and I want more kids. So,
Well, I definitely don't want any right now, so I think I'm still good with the 10-year bet. I mean, I'll only be
okay, but the 10-year bet,
only 31. That's not like too late to have kids.
but you got to think the 10-year bet, right? Your significant other is also suffering. Therefore, she's going to wind up cheating on you because you're not giving any.
You're not giving my girlfriend enough credit. She could absolutely live without it.
That says something about you.
But no, no. That's not something I'm gonna disclose on the podcast. But, yeah, you're not giving her enough credit though. She definitely would not. So I'm gonna just go to the next. Would you rather to avoid another awkward conversation? Would you rather win all the money in the world?
What the fuck?
I accidentally clicked. Would you rather win all the money in the world or be given a time machine to fix your biggest mistakes in your life?
All the money in the world, without a doubt. Because the one big regret that I have, I wouldn't take back for the world. So
I would definitely go fix my biggest mistakes because one of my biggest mistakes was not buying GameStop before it went up, which would give me a lot of money, and I could go fix a lot of other stuff. So I would take the time machine.
Okay, so braille porn is for blind people created by a Swedish artist.
No shot. It actually exists.
It literally, from what I'm looking at, is literally just. So, I assume the blind person tied up, and then another blind person whipping and pleasuring the other person just by feeling.
Oh, so it's basically just like, I mean, if you're blind,
It's basically the audio version of a porno.
you get the audio book of your favorite.
Is what I'm picking up from that. So I'm just gonna close that tab now because I'm over that.
Yeah, I hope you had private browser on for that. I'll just cut all this out, so don't worry about it.
Right.
Technical difficulties. Woo! So which one you got?
I got. Would you rather have the speed of a cheetah or the strength of an elephant?
I would definitely take the strength of an elephant.
Why?
And well, it'd be pretty cool in terms of weightlifting. You could probably basically win any strongman weightlifting competition, which is a lot of money. Fun fact. And just imagine this little, like, scrawny kid walk up to like 1,000 pounds and just like lift it with one hand. You know how funny that would be. Also, like, even if I didn't do that, just in my normal life, it would help because, we, in our most of our jobs, for most people, we lift some heavy things sometimes, and it probably would help. Maybe it's a little overkill, but it'll help.
Yeah. I would take the speed of a cheetah.
Why is that?
Primarily because, granted, and it's solely for the base of that dreadful drive after you get off work home. And after you go and do something, that dreadful ride back to your house. To be able to just run there fast as crap. I don't know, how fast do cheetahs run?
Hold on, I was gonna say you're gonna be really 50 to 80 miles an hour, so you would just be.
It'd take the same amount of time, so yeah, I'd take the strength of an elephant.
Yeah, and you backtrack so hard on that. You
because you got to think between 50 and 60. That's normally what I drive. I normally 60, 65. That's what I drive most places, unless I'm in a town or a city.
So if you think about it though, like they only say the speed and the strength, they don't say like the endurance. So you might be as fast as a cheetah, but you might not be able to run that for more than like 10 seconds. Depending on your endurance. Like I don't think I could keep that up.
That'd be a new world record, baby.
I mean,
that'd be a new PB.
Let me see. Human top speed, top running speed. What's the fastest a human being has ran? 8 miles an hour. No way. 20,
There's no way.
27 miles an hour, according to
So
a
you're
Britannica
almost
article.
you're almost doubling it.
Basically. In 2009, this is about Usain Bolt in his 100-meter dash. So in 2011, Belgian scientists used lasers to measure Bolt's performance in the different stages of that 100-meter race. They found that 67.13 meters in the race, Bolt reached a top speed of 27.33 miles per hour. That is supposedly the fastest any human being has ever ran.
How fast I zoned out.
27.33 miles an hour.
Alright, so still almost doubling it.
Yeah, so that's wacky. It's goofy. Usain Bolt is just an insane human being, to be fair.
Alright, next question.
Here, I'm kind of just,
You want me to do it?
no, I'm just kind of browsing. If you have one, go ahead.
Would you rather interview for a job for 48 hours, on 48 hours with no sleep, or really need to pee?
I'd rather be sleep deprived. That would be or more comfortable than. Well, I guess I don't know.
No,
maybe
not in my opinion.
Well. So I guess it depends. How badly do you have to go to the bathroom? Like, is it just like you feel it coming on, or is it like your bladder's gonna explode?
It doesn't say. It just says needing to pee.
So that one would probably be better then, because like it could just be like you feel like it's just coming on instead of
But
like.
see, I have a strong bladder, so I take the needing to pee, because if I went to the bathroom at night every time that I need to pee, on my days off, I'd never get any sleep. And then at work, I'd be going to the bathroom every probably hour, because I drink a lot of caffeine to stay awake.
Mm-hmm. No, that makes sense. So, oh god, this one. This one gets an NSFW tag. And that concludes also the end of our podcast. So thank you for those who stuck around to the end. Again, leave some comments with some topics, questions, people you want to see join in. Not on the Eiffel Tower, but into the podcast.
I'm hungry. Goodbye.
A Patreon that we do not have yet, but we will set up for, anyone that would be interested in supporting us. We'll probably make a Discord, some bonus episodes, stuff like that. It'll be a little bit in the future, but we're going to get all this set up. And thank you guys, for those of you who made it to the end. We greatly appreciate it, and bye-bye.